Well, hello and welcome to Bowtie Life, where we talk mostly about life in the garden. I'm Bowtie David, Zone 9B here in Destin, Florida. The sun is starting to come up. In fact, we just broke a record on our solar panels that are just about a year old. In fact, right at a year old. We just broke a record on daily production 2 days ago, which is very cool. But we are coming up, it is, April 24th. And we are coming up about 2 months, a little under 2 months away from the summer solstice, and the days are getting longer. And you can see, if you just watched the April garden tours, you know we didn't have the shade cloth up. Said I was going to get it up. And there it is. Coming up here soon, we do have that video on compost that I'm still promising. It'll come out. But I just want to show you a little bit about the shade cloth and what I'm doing here and explain what it's for. Hi, I'm Bowtie Dave. So this arch trellis right here is currently growing my sugar snap peas, which are going to start failing here within a month or so, which means we're going to be planting beans underneath these plants so that once these start dying out, the beans will start growing in place. You'll notice that I've got more of an overhang on this side. This is the western side that gets more heat, more sun in the afternoon, and we are currently under a sycamore tree. If you watch my garden tours, you'll recognize those leaves. That's my American sycamore tree that's bigger around than I've ever owned a tree. But as it goes down over there, the sun will shine between that magnolia and that big gap up there, and it will give this area a lot of sun for several hours and burn these peas out sooner. Peas are a cool weather crop, and as I said, we are in Destin, Florida, which is a little sunny Florida. It's the truth. And so the peas are going to survive maybe a few weeks longer underneath this shade cloth. Now this is a 50% shade cloth, as is all my shade cloths. You can see if I go under here, you can see through it pretty good. It blocks about 50% of the sun, which eases the pressure on the snow peas. And of course, I'm sorry, these are sugar snap peas. But you can see these things are just growing profusely, and we are harvesting off these. A little backlit right there. Let's see if I can get a better angle over here. Here we go. A little backlit. There we go. You can see the peas are looking good. We've had 2 good 4-pound harvests out of this trellis, and we're probably going to have another 1 or 2 to go. We canned both of the harvests just a few days ago. There's a short video on that, but you can hopefully see a video soon on freezing peas, and we will be blanching them for a minute and a half and then flash freezing them on a tray, then sticking them in a Ziploc freezer bag and preserving them until we need them. Let's go look at some other shade cloths. So here in the backyard, we have a structure made up of 4x6s and 2x6s. That is my trellis for the back raised beds. And these, of course, are going to hold the shade cloths for the back beds. And what I have here are just the little brass teacup hooks you can get at your local Walmart or whatever. And these are going to fail after a few seasons, though I'm going to go ahead and use them. However, I wanted to show you what I've been doing now is using these slightly larger stainless steel hooks that I got off of Amazon, and they're a bit larger, 3/4 of an inch, I think, and they will not rust. In fact, you can see these right here have been here since we built this 2.5 years ago. Doesn't look at all weathered. And so I'm just hanging the shade cloths up by those hooks, and I've left those hooks there from last year, and I'm going to use them again, and I'll be using these hooks again on a regular basis. And you can see me just working my way around and hanging up this shade cloth to get this area covered. And these tomatoes are going to love it, of course. We have some more tomatoes to put in a lot more tomatoes because this whole area under here is going to be covered with tomatoes. If you saw our garden tours from last year, you know there was a lot of plants in here. And so anyway, we'll have some more back over on the other end where the ginger is growing, and the cucumbers will be growing here pretty soon. And then here in the middle is going to be our brand new shade cloth that I have not even opened yet, that I'm very excited to put in. I'm going to put new hooks in here, and these hooks will be on top of the trellis. You can see me installing these up here. Got to use a ladder for this one because I got to get up here. But putting these hooks in here on the top as I just work my way around the shade cloth just bit by bit. And eventually this thing will be fully shaded. Mrs. Bowtie is actually a little bit excited about having a shaded back patio. Now, one final note, this is the west side right here. The sun comes in here, the evening sun that's very hot shines in here hard. And so this year, I'm actually going to be adding a 6-foot wide awning that will go most of the length of this trellis. And it will protect this backside a little bit longer during the day. In fact, the only direct sun this side will be getting is right at sunset when things are really beginning to cool down. That afternoon sun is kind of the harshest, much more harsh than the morning sun because, well, think about it. It's cool in the morning. The sun feels good to the plants there. Stomata are opened up there, creating energy, and then as the day wears on, they get a little droopy, they get a little hot. And yeah, just like the rest of us, that afternoon sun just feels hotter. And so we're going to be protecting them from the afternoon sun. This is actually Wednesday. Those are supposed to be coming Monday from Amazon. I'm very excited. So I'm not sure, but I think I actually showed this shade cloth wrapped up in one of last year's garden tours, and it's a little frustrating because I never did install it. This is the one that goes in the middle, the 16 by 16 area. And there we go, 30 feet of shaded area. This actually turned out to be a 10 by 20 shade cloth. So I overlapped it this way over my more sensitive tomatoes, which will be in this area. You can tell on the ground how there's more shade here than there is over there. So that's going to be equivalent to a 75%. When you put two 50% together, you don't end up with 0, you end up with half of half. So 75%, you end up with 25% of the sunlight coming through. Here in Florida, folks, we get hot sun. It is the Sunshine State. It's called that for a reason. Yeah. In fact, I measured the summer solstice shadow last year, and I'll put those stats on the screen here for you. But here we go. This thing is up. It's ready to go for the season. And the only thing I have left to do is to put that kind of awning on the back there to try to keep the evening sun, that hot evening sun, off the back of these plants. So there you go. Shade cloth up. This was always my favorite spot right here under the tomatoes. I think it's probably going to be my new favorite spot, even more favorite spot because of the double shade cloth right here. It feels good. It already feels cooler. Anyway, thank you for following along today. And for those of you who have subscribed already, you are my heroes. I appreciate you. You've made Bowtie Life what it is today. This is, for those of you just finding me, this channel, this is my own personal journal of the things going on in the garden. I know about 2 months before the summer solstice, I put these shade cloths up now, and I can go back to this video and find out for sure. Remind myself, my ADD brain, I have a hard time remembering stuff like that. I've tried journaling, I've tried photography, I've tried the little app on the phone, and it just doesn't speak to me. These videos actually keep my brain going and on task and doing what I need to do in the garden. So that's why I like making these videos. I go back and watch these videos myself. Sometimes in the morning when I'm getting ready, I will have these videos running in the background, and they'll remind me of things. That, oh yeah, I gotta do that. And I'll stop, come out, do a task. It might be a 30-second task, it might be a 5-minute task, but I'll come to a task, and then I'll go on with my morning routine, getting ready in the morning. So yeah, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a thing as I over document everything that goes on in the garden. And now you know why, if you're wondering about that. But if you would like to help grow the channel, one of the best ways, of course, is to click the thumbs up. The easiest thing you can do. Click the thumbs up on this video and share it on your social media with friends who might be dealing with hot sun like we are and possible solutions. This is a 50% shade cloth. They make these things in 10%, 30%. They make them in different shade cloth. And now this stuff is kind of light. I expect it to last a few seasons. It will fail. In fact, I had one corner fail already and I just tied it up and it's not a problem. But you can get these in different levels of shade for different locations in the country. And do a little research on them. There's a lot of good information out there. We are in the panhandle of Florida. I like these 50% shade cloths. I used them last year. They did great. I still had a little suffering over here in the tomato, which is why I kind of overlapped the two shade cloths in this little area right here to try to get a little more control over the really hot sun, especially during those hottest days. Comment below if you have any questions. Y'all have a blessed day.